mindfulness moment together. I'm Pastor Paul. Come join me. Glad you're with me this morning. Let me know where you're joining from. Oh, let me get my microphone on. Oh, geez, I almost forgot. So good morning. This is our time of contemplation and prayer together. Check 1, 2. Okay. So let me know where you're joining from this morning. We call it our mindfulness moment. It's our time of contemplation, prayer, hearing from heaven together. So come join, and we'll spend about the next 30 minutes or so in corporate mindfulness, and then I'll let you get on with your day. So let me know where you're joining from, and we'll be connected by place. My name is Paul, and I'm in Fresno, California. I'm still getting myself all set up here. It's early in California. Mindfulness is simply a time of quieting ourselves so we can search ourselves inside, so we can connect with the divine and the supernatural. Hi, Wisconsin. Glad you're in the house. Let me know where you're joining from. And a time of stilling our minds so that our emotions can speak to us. I like to have some incense burning when I have a mindfulness moment, even though my wife hates it in the house. But it just tells me and my body, mind, and soul to get prepared for a sacred moment. So this is an aroma called First Rain. It's my favorite. From my friend Curtis and Rosie. And I have prayer beads that I use to help me focus in my prayer and attention. So each bead I use to represent somebody that I'm sending hope and energy to. Today I'm just prayerful that I can attract people to my coaching cohort that's coming up in April. That I can connect to those who are in need of help and coaching right now. And so that's part of my prayer today. So that I can help people and I can subsist and live. And so those are my prayers today, and for my daughter who's pursuing a job, for my wife who will be traveling this week, and my son who has an athletic event and is just working his life so well. And so those are all my prayers today. And so start to think, what's on your heart today for prayer? What is your spirit reaching out for today? Sorry, I'm typing on my screen and I have to look around my cameras to get there. So I hate to lean around like this, but it's what I have to do. What are you walking through today? Let's walk through it together. Let's bear each other's burdens for one another. In a time of mindfulness. So in mindfulness, part of your goal is to still, S-T-I-L-L, to still your mind, to still your body, to allow your kidneys to be tested. In Jeremiah, the passage in Jeremiah says, I, the Lord, test the heart. And the term of heart is actually kidneys. I, the Lord, test your kidneys. And we think that's funny. Why kidneys? Because kidneys were, for the Old Testament ancient Hebrew, considered the seat of emotions. Like we would say today, I feel it in my gut. I have a gut feeling. And so we test our emotions. All right, those of you who are joining in, let me know where you're joining from as we have our mindfulness time this moment and mindfulness moment together. And to still your body, you start to just feel your body being supported by your chair or your couch or wherever you're sitting, and know, hi, Ohio, I'm glad you're here, Mama Kate. You allow your body to be supported by the chair or the couch or wherever you're sitting. You're not responsible for your body being supported and sitting. Let the chair take over. Thank you, chair, for supporting my body. I'm getting good vibes from virtual Sasha. Thank you, Sasha. I'll take those vibes. So let your body be stilled. I'm handsome. Thank you, Basketball Diaries. And let your mind be stilled. And the way we do that is we say, anything that is a stressor, my worry about the day, my schedule, I'm going to set that over here. There will be plenty of time to pick those worries back up and bring them back to myself. But for this moment, for this 25 minutes or so, I'm going to give myself permission to not worry, to not think about the day, to not be afraid, and just allow my brain to rest into a beautiful moment of incense and prayer and contemplation with my brothers and sisters, the souls that are joining me on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out your mouth, and let that breath be a cleansing breath that takes your anxiety, worries away. And I see those of you asking questions, and at the end of our mindfulness time, I'll be glad to answer your questions. Yeah. So I've been thinking about the issue of pain and sorrow. I was taught growing up in evangelical spaces, and just remember, keep breathing, keep relaxing, letting your chair support your weight, your mind setting its anxiety aside, sitting with those on the screen here, posting where you're from so we can be connected by place. And when I was growing up, I was taught that feeling your feelings was somehow not Christian. That feeling pain and sorrow and sadness were somehow telling us that we weren't reading the Bible enough, or trusting God enough, or being enough of a Christian. And that was such a lie that's done so much damage to so many people. I want to tell you today that feeling your emotions and getting in touch with what's happening inside in your spirit is absolutely what we're created to do. The things that you've reached for to make yourself feel safe and valued and purposeful. are what your emotional being were created to do. That doesn't mean we always do them to the best of ourselves, but it's a lie that it's somehow unchristian to feel sadness and sorrow and pain. In fact, it's really important to explore. Like I said in Jeremiah, it says, I, the Lord, test your kidneys. I test your emotions to find out what's happening inside. And we have the book of Job. And I did a Bible talk this last Saturday on the book of Job that you can go listen to on my YouTube channel. And Job was a book where I was taught that complaining during suffering is wrong, because Job gets castigated by God in the book. But they miss the conclusion of Job. Job chapter 42, at the end of it all, Job talks about the fact that he was asking questions of God of things that he as a human being could never understand. And his conclusion of asking those questions, even after he's mocked by God, in what is a poem, by the way, not a historical narrative. Job is a poetic book. Very likely there was never a person named Job, or a person that had this exact story happen. This is a poem about the character of God. And Job's conclusion at the end of it all, of having those conversations with God, of even being mocked by God, Job says this in Job 42:5. He said, I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see you. I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see you. So I've been taught the book of Job shows that we shouldn't question God, and that pain and suffering comes from God, and so we should just take it and be okay. And I want to tell you, all of that is bullshit. I'll be right back on TikTok. Sorry, here I am. And because all of that is bullshit, because we are fearfully and wonderfully made, we're told in the Bible, and Christians purport to believe that, but then do everything they can to ask us to be non-human. And Job is saying, by wrestling with the pain that I was going through and asking God, WTF, we see in different parts of Job, Job is saying, do you just get to do this, God, because you're sovereign? Is it okay that the adulterer and me, the thief and me, we all end up in the same place? Is that real? And then finally, Job comes to the conclusion of, like, if I saw someone suffering and they had their hand up, I would help. So where the hell are you, God? I am just human, and I care about people that are hurting. Where are you? It reminds me of the song, You Found Me by the Cray. Where were you when all of this was going on? And my Christian friends quite often would say, oh, you don't ask God that question. And I say, that is absolutely the question you should be asking of the divine of heaven. Why is this happening? Where are you? And allowing ourselves to wrestle through that. And the interesting thing at the end of Job, I don't know why I'm lagging. There's something wrong with my internet connection for some reason. Sorry about that, guys. TikTok's been weird. TikTok's been working very strange lately. And the conclusion of all of that is, thank you, Jamie. The conclusion of all of that is that God says to Job's friends who were telling Job all this great advice of their certainty of knowing God. You guys say you know everything about me. And Job asked hard questions. Just like today, I think God would say, you evangelicals, you think you know everything. My friend Paul is wrestling with questions. And God's conclusion is, my anger burns against you evangelicals who know it all, who are certain of your theology. And you need to have Job pray for you. God tells the friends his anger burns against them for being certain of knowing that God is a vengeful, hateful, punishing God. And he says, you better have Job pray for you or else. So I want to tell you today, if you're feeling, why is this happening? Where is God in the midst of this? You're in good company in the Bible. And any Christian that tells you you shouldn't feel that way, I rebuke them today. So we say, God, I'm struggling today. Why is this hard? And we interact with the Spirit of heaven in a moment of mindfulness. And we say to ourselves, self, where does it hurt? And where do we need a connection to the divine today, to the source, as some would say, to God, some would say, whatever that connection to heaven and the goodness of heaven looks like for you. Reach out to that in that space that your emotions and your kidneys are telling you need to reach out. We do that together here in our mindfulness moment. So sit comfortably in your chair supporting your body, your mind allowing your anxiety to be set aside for the moment. And just picture yourself in a safe space in your imagination, in your spirit, if you will. Imagine a sense of the divine of heaven with you in that moment. It could be you have a picture of God as a being. Could be you see God as a spirit or energy. Whatever the spirit of heaven looks like to you, imagine having a sense of being in a space with that spirit that is totally safe for you. And think about where your emotions are telling you there's a tug today. Where does it hurt? The doctor would say in the doctor's office. Where are you feeling like you need a connection of the source of heaven to touch you? And just have a sense of the awareness of the spirit with you and of the spirit interacting with that place. And you may want to ask a question. Why is this happening to me? Or what do I do? I'm sorry for the internet problems on TikTok, guys. It's much better on YouTube. Ask, why is this happening? Or what do I need to do? Or am I going to be okay? Or whatever you need to ask of the divine spirit with you today. And then wait, and let's quietly wait and see what heaven would say. In Ezekiel chapter 2, we see Ezekiel having this conversation with the divine of heaven. And that divine spirit saying, stand up and we'll talk. And Ezekiel saying, and I stood up and the spirit of heaven entered me, and I heard from heaven. In the New Testament, it says we're seated with God in heavenly realms. So I just invite you into that heavenly realm today to hear from heaven and ask what you need to know as we just have a moment of silence in sitting with the divine this morning. You may feel like you're not hearing anything. That's okay. Just sit in this special moment, this sacred moment. What is heaven saying to you? Yeah. You may want to write it down. If you hear something in your spirit from the divine today, you come back and visit it later, journal it. Yeah, this lagging TikTok is killing me, and I'm sure it's killing you guys. Amen. So let's finish our time with the Spirit of Heaven with gratefulness and just say, thank you, Spirit, for being here. Releasing our connection to that Spirit and letting it go. Coming back together, our spirits still connected. If anybody wants to share what you heard from heaven, that would be beautiful. I'd love to hear it. I'm grateful for you spending this time with me. I'm really pissed at TikTok. Let me turn off my Wi-Fi and just go with data and see if that helps. I think it's a TikTok issue. More often than not, it's a TikTok issue. So we've run everybody off now. So I quite often think if you're trying to do something productive, TikTok will cut you off. That what TikTok wants is controversy and dancing, and that's it. So it's kind of funny. Well, I love you all. Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you. Thank you for being with me. Yeah. Amen. All right. If anybody's still here that has questions, I don't know if my bad lagging internet drove everybody off, but I'm more than willing to spend a few minutes with you all here and talk a little bit. Sometimes it is pretty discouraging to work with TikTok. But I've loved really dwelling on this idea of Job this week in my Bible talk, in my Deconstruction U discussion groups, and thinking about this idea that asking questions of heaven and saying, why is this happening with me? Where are you, God? Why are you not willing to help? Is not only okay, but actually it's a powerful way to interact with the supernatural, with the divine of heaven. Have you ever thought about that? Many haven't. because we're told by our religion that asking questions is bad and dangerous and we shouldn't do it. So yeah, let me know where you're joining from if you're here, and if you have any thoughts or questions. We had some questions earlier, but I don't know if any of them were legit or just silly. So Eric, I don't know if Eric is still here, says, I think it's important to recognize that our feelings aren't always accurate and always subjective. See, I disagree with that. That is, to me, that's a really good platitude to shut people down from feeling. You have to be careful with that. Then Eric asked a very good question of how do we keep our feelings in balance with what is real? You do that by feeling your feelings and asking what is going on. This is what I was told forever by Christianity. Oh, you can't trust your feelings. You can't trust your emotions. And so we become unfeeling, unemotional people, missing that our theology is the passion of the Christ. We used to go see a thing called the Passion Play, that Jesus went to the cross because he was moved by emotion. He did miracles to heal people because he was moved by emotion. And then we do this shit and say feeling your feelings is bad. Good God, do Christians ever actually read the Bible and listen to what comes out of their fucking mouths? I mean, we are nuts. Like, it's no wonder everybody outside the church is like, you guys are the most full of shit windbags I know. Because we don't even recognize when we don't make sense. Thank you for the flowers, Anna Zombie. Very beautiful. All right. Well, I think the lagging issue on TikTok drove everybody off anyway. So I may let you guys go unless anybody else has any questions or thoughts. Don't forget, we have a podcast coming out on Thursday this week. And Bible talks come out every other Saturday. And then we have Sunday community every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. So come join. And if you enjoy what I do and all the free content I provide and you want to help me continue to do it, you can support us at pastor-paul.com. You can sign up for free for our newsletter and our updates. And if you want to help me continue to do what I do, you can support with just a little bit of financial support every month. And I would so appreciate it. All right. Any other thoughts, questions, or I'm going to take off and get another cup of coffee because it's early here in California still. But if anybody has anything else they want to chat about, let me know. As time is waning quickly. If you joined in the middle of this, it will be preserved on YouTube and you can watch it there. Jamie, when are you coming to Fresno? Hi, Mary. How are you? Good to see you today. Mary, you were in Fresno and you didn't let me know. How can that be? How can that be? What were you doing in Fresno? Fresno's the place to be, let me tell you. I didn't think of it. Bummer, bummer. All right, guys. If there isn't any more questions or thoughts, then I'm going to let you go, let you get started on your day or continue on your day if you're probably farther down the day than me. We went to visit, drove to Tijuana to drop my father-in-law off. Wow. Awesome. All right, Mary. Well, let me know when you're in town and we'll get a cup of coffee. All right, guys. I'm going to run. Everybody have an amazing day. Love you all. See you soon.